Come with me to Madrid as we head to the Spanish Indoor Athletics Championships. I'm getting the train from Darlington, so I'm walking down to the station now and I'll show you a little bit behind the scenes of travel day. Here's a little look at the hotel I stayed in Madrid. I'd stayed in one of these before in Hamburg last year, and they're really cool, especially if you're only there for a few hours. I hate spending a load of money on a hotel when you're just basically sleeping there for 8 hours, I think I was there. Welcome to Madrid. Today is competition day. However, David doesn't start until 3 o'clock, so I've got some free time this morning, so I'm going to get some food, go look at some sights, and then go meet up with him and the family later and head off to the stadium. So here we are at the Spanish Championships. David is on in about an hour or so. It's going to be quite quiet in the stadium today because there's not that many events on, but it's a pretty cool setup. I'm excited to see how he goes. So the indoor heptathlon kicks off with the 60-metre sprint. The decathlon outdoors is a 100-metre sprint. For David, 60 metres isn't his speciality. It's a little bit short, but he's been working on it. He's been working on his speed and his acceleration. His PB's 7:17 from a few years ago, but this year he's ran 7:23, but he has had a couple of 7.3, so we didn't know what to expect. But he got an okay start. He went through his drive phase pretty well and his pickup, but this is where I'm really happy with it. His top end speed was really good, and he ran a time of 7.25. Next up, we had the long jump, and I'll be honest, it was a bit of a messy one. He was struggling a little bit with some pain in his left hamstring, and it's been a problem we've had for a couple of weeks, and he's just been managing it. So in his warm-ups, they were okay, but he was miles off the board, so we had to make quite a few adjustments to get him a little bit closer to the board. That was his final warm-up, and he was almost on it. A little pop-up to test the hamstring, and then it was time for round one. I had faith and I thought he could jump far, but David didn't feel the same. He ran down, he took off, he felt something, and he just ran through. So he was left with a jump of like 4 or 5 meters. So the competition was basically down to just 2 rounds. So in round 2, we had a little chat and he was going to commit to this one. The hamstring wasn't getting any worse and it was just a twingy pain. So he went for it and it was just, you can see there, just before the board, he's like protecting himself and it was a 660-ish jump. So the plan was to let go a little bit more in the 3rd round and see if he could put a little bit more through it and run through the board. But again, as he's approaching the board, if you watch in a second, you can see him almost hunching up and not able to really hit that takeoff. And 679. After a little bit of a disaster in the long jump, it was time for the shot put, an event that has been going really, really well. We worked hard on this. He's got so much stronger in the gym and the confidence has got higher as well. He has thrown an outdoor PB because he lives in Mallorca. They did an outdoor heptathlon a couple of weeks ago. They don't have an indoor track. He threw 1450. So we were looking for something close to that. In his warm-up throw, he had a monster, looked about 1470, 1480. So here we go with round 1. And it was a solid put. There's loads in there that I can see that we can make better. David was a bit frustrated. It was 14.20, which was an indoor PB and one of the furthest he's ever thrown. He improved to 14.30, but he was still frustrated. And finally, a 14.42. So after a solid 60, a terrible long jump, a very good shot put, it was on to high jump, and high jump is an event we've struggled with. Since I've started coaching David, we have struggled with the high jump, and it has been a little bit of a compromise in the program. We are putting a lot more focus on it this year, though. He has got a personal best of 2 meters and 6 from a couple of years ago, and you could say it's me who's made him worse. However, we've just got a few things to iron out. He has jumped 195 this year, and he jumped 196 a couple of times last year. He opens up here at 178, and it was nice and easy. However, that if you can spot in his last couple of strides, there is a problem with his takeoff angles. He hit 181 on his first attempt before going clear on attempt 2, which was a lovely jump. We just weren't getting that consistency, and it's coming from what he's doing in his last 3 strides. 184, nice and easy. 187 crashed into it. Second attempt at 1 meter 87, and he goes clear. However, we got to 190 and it just wasn't meant to be. And we couldn't quite fix it in the competition, but we know what we need to work on in the next phase of training. But that was day 1, over and out. It is an early start to day 2 out here in Madrid, as we've just popped round to a little cafe for breakfast and a coffee, and now it's off to the track. So I woke up about 7. It's currently 8 a.m. and David races at 10 a.m. So we're going to head there. He's going to get warmed up. Hopefully he's feeling more awake than I am, but this is combined events. Yesterday wasn't a great day in summary. I didn't do like an end of day recap, but basically it's difficult because David's a decathlete. He's doing a heptathlon. Some of his best events aren't in it, and it's hard to get his mentality around that. So if something goes wrong, it's difficult because he hasn't got as many events to make it up. So the 60 was solid, long jump was off, he had a dodgy hamstring and it just didn't come together. Shot put was really good, and high jump was way off. So let's just see what today brings, and either way, like if you can come top 6 at Spanish Champs indoors, that's fine. But we've got a lot to work on for the outdoors, and we're in a good place in terms of building up to a decathlon. We're just not heptathlon fit and ready at the moment, but we knew that was always going to be the case. So we just need to go have some fun. Day 2 of the heptathlon starts off with the hurdles, just like the outdoor decathlon does. And yeah, we were looking for a fast time because David has been improving over the 60 hurdles. He's again much better at the 110 hurdles. He's much more of a decathlete than a heptathlete, but we're still looking for a fast time. He got a pretty good start. He's 7 strides, so it's a little bit long getting into his running. But when he did, he came through really, really well. Technique was good, and it was a new PB. The penultimate event of the indoor heptathlon is the pole vault, and pole vault is David's big weakness, both in a heptathlon and a decathlon. Living where he does on his island, it is quite difficult to be able to get pole vault coaching. It's not an event that I'm particularly competent in coaching either. So what we've done is we've got stronger in the gym, we've worked on the confidence and the mentality, and he has improved his pole vaulting. He's going over, I think he went 385, 405. I think that is that might be the 405. Sorry, it's hard to remember which jump's which would make this 415, which was a new personal best. And he did it on his first attempt. Nice and easy. This is 4 meters 25. And yeah, another PB. Really, really happy with how the pole vault went. The confidence was high, and he came at really, really close to vaulting 435. I think this was the best attempt. That was pretty close. So we're looking forward to the summer, because if he can figure out the pole vault, there's just huge, huge points to be gained. Crashed into it on his second attempt, and another decent attempt on the third one as well. The final event of the heptathlon is the 1,000 meters. David was going in I think 6th or 7th, and he could finish after this anywhere between 6th and 9th. So obviously no medal. He's still not used to indoor running, and as you can see here, there was a lot of pushing and shoving, and Pepe nearly went down. But he eventually settled down a little bit. We had quite a heated post-race discussion with David and the family, and just working on like what he could do better next time, because yes, he made some mistakes in this race. At this point, he was really running strongly, but all the pushing and shoving and pacing, he just got it wrong. It was just a bad run. So after a solid 60 meters, a poor long jump, a very good shot put, a poor high jump, a very good hurdles, a very good pole vault. This was a poor 1,000 meters. It had just been a tough 2 days. He isn't designed for indoor athletics. He is designed for outdoor, but I'm still really pleased that we did this indoor season. As you can see here, he actually finished plenty full of running. It's just the pacing and the strategy that needs work on, and also a little bit of self-belief. David often doubts himself in any endurance events, whereas he back himself in a 400, but really wouldn't in 1,000, and we need to work on that because he can run. And I've seen some of the times he could do in training. So overall, it is what it is. 8th place in the Spanish Indoor Championships. Not a bad run out, and it was a really good weekend. We've got so much to look forward to outdoors, so much to work on. I just can't wait to get stuck into this next block of training, because all the stuff we have been working on really worked, and the stuff that we're about to work on, we can fix so easy. So that is the Spanish Championships over and out for Indoors 2025. We've now got a few months until outdoors. They're not till August. We will be heading to Arona, Tenerife, earlier in the summer to get a decathlon in. Overall, we had 4 good events, 3 bad events. There's plenty to work on, lots that we've been working on that has been proven to be paying off. So we now just get back to training, a good 8-week block of training, and we should be good to go. So it's been a fun weekend and experience. David finished 8th overall. A little bit disappointed with where he finished, but always happy with the effort. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.